Greetings and welcome to this episode of Everyday Enchantment. I'm your host, Stacey Andon, and today we are going to tap into the intuitive knowings of the season of winter. So, whether you are in winter or summer or wherever you are, this is going to have a beautiful message about getting aligned with exactly what is here in this moment. So, I was talking to a friend the other night. And she was saying to me, she was feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and all these things. And I said, "What do you really want in this moment?" And she's like, "I don't really want to do anything right now. I just want a clear, space, work, personal, you name it. I just want space to do nothing." And it reminds me every time this time of year, particularly into winter here on the Western Hemisphere, we fight and rail against the energy of the season. Right now, we're about to embark on the longest or the darkest day of the year in a couple weeks, or who knows when this podcast is going to air. It will have happened or almost happened. And so there's lots of darkness here. There's lots of kind of just slowing down, right? All of Mother Earth and the energy of the planets and the animals around us are all starting to slow their roll. We, on the other hand, the last month of the year into like the new year, where we're supposed to just pop out with all these goals and what have you, we kind of rally against that energy, right? This fear, and I don't even know if it's fear, but it's this indoctrinated belief that we're supposed to be operating at a high octane constantly. And what my friend was saying, which I found absolutely beautiful, was that what she truly desired was just some rest, some quietness. Put on your pajamas at 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening and do nothing. Get some food delivered, make something nourishing, eat something on a slow, like just in a slow pace of things without this from one thing to one thing to one thing. And we jump around a lot this time of year, almost like this season is probably the thing that we find most uncomfortable. We love spring, new beginnings. The energy of summer is very active. Fall is beautiful, and there's still some energy of activity. And then winter really invites this kind of hibernating energy, and we don't really know how to be in it. And so I want to suggest to all of us that we practice being comfortable, especially this time of year, in saying no. No, I don't want to do that. No, I would rather stay home. And again, not because I'm busy already. Courtney Carver said, it has a beautiful quote. It's like, "I'm saying no, not because I'm busy, because I don't want to be busy." And honoring and really truly respecting that. I think for so long, and particularly in my own life and particularly at the holidays, I never allowed myself that space. Now, I think there were some other things going on, some loneliness I didn't want to feel, some disappointment about things, and maybe even just my own fear of not being enough, like living up to whatever standard there is, which has to me just gotten even more profound with, you take social medias to the next level, which we have with all these stories and reels and videos and you name it. It's like, what if you unlinked your last month and into January? You unlinked it from having to show up and perform in some manner, perform gift giving, decorating, entertaining, whatever it is, fill in the blank for you, and kind of slipped into your own rhythm. How do you do that? Well, it's exactly like what my friend said the other day. It's like, what do you really want? What is really true in this moment? You could do whatever you wanted right now, today, this next hour, this next week. What would it look like? I don't think we stop and ask ourselves. We just kind of put ourselves on a plan or on a vision that we think, and then we just put it on autopilot. So I challenge myself and everyone listening to take the time, to take the pause, and create more space in this season. And I mean space like nothing productive. Take a nap, go for a walk, stare at the wall, daydream. Be in a space that allows for, again, this kind of chilled out energy that winter kind of brings to us. It's like, can you take your normal day and edit it? Like if you were gonna, those like videos where you can slow them down or speed them up. Like take your normal day and slow it down by 5%. What would that mean? What would come off? And I don't mean take something off and put it on another day. What can come off completely? What can come like that doesn't need to go back on? Maybe it's some events, maybe it is, some expectations, or maybe it's something you've been holding in your body all year. This year, 2023, has been the year that has kicked a lot of our arses, so to speak. And so instead of just kind of getting through the end, really honoring and reflecting and being with your body. Take a bath, go to bed early, do some meditation, put some candles, right, around and be in that softness, the softness of winter, which really feels maybe contradictory because of winter being kind of cold and harsh in terms of the weather, is this kind of coziness that I think most of us really crave. Candlelight, that warm cup of stew on the stovetop, or something warm brewing, like, mulled apple cider, or a latte with, some gingerbread spice in it. I don't know, just finding the simplicity of your own pleasure and your own rhythm, I think cannot be. I feel like every year I remind myself of this over and over because when you dip yourself out into the rest of the world, everybody's moving. It's like as soon as November comes, the traffic patterns change on the planet, at least in my town, right? The vibe, the aura of people just dashing around. And to me, for what? What do we really truly want for this season? And for me, simplicity keeps coming through. So it's like coming back to our intention, coming back to giving ourselves permission to do it on our own timeline in our own way. Because everything keeps bumping, 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 and saying, no, 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 don't do it that way. So Winter has her own intuition. She has her own messages for us. She has her own gifts. We are usually so busy. We might be missing out on whatever that is. And to me, I think there's a lot of beautiful energy of reflection, not in a like, let me say how I did it all wrong, but really, truly like, what can absolutely die away that I don't need to attend to, that I can trust whatever the energies that are moving underneath the earth right now or laying still, I can be in that too. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to create the life that I want. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be able to walk on this planet. But that survival mode energy, right, that keeps us in such doing and keeps us disconnected from our mind, our body, our spirit, and the seasonal power that's like right here in our face and we tend to ignore, right? Oh, wait, we have to put more lights on, and it's like, no, let there be darkness. Darkness isn't as scary, I think, as what we think, or what our brain or whatever is going to say. I like turn all the lights off, put like one candle on, and sit on my couch in a chair, and just I don't know, maybe some music, maybe not. The dog by my side, or just kind of hanging out. And it doesn't mean, right, we're lazy, we're never going to do anything again. It means that we are embodying the state of being, the cycle of active energy and then a little bit of slowing down or restoration, that creates an inner balance. So how we create that and what we want to do with that, it's always in flux and in flow. So I know I've probably spoken to this before in other podcasts, but today in this moment, right, whatever I'm feeling, whatever's channeling through me for this episode has a little bit different energy and flavor to it. So I always honor that even if we hear the same messages over and over, whether it comes from our spirit guides, some kind of seasonal message, again, they're just here to support us and nurture us so that we really do shift into a life that very much is our own sovereign creation and not just from slathering, repeating everything else that we've seen modeled to us that probably doesn't align with the truth of our values. And so, again, challenging yourself to do the thing that feels most true. Radical act these days. Lots of revolutionary, you know, choosing of being rather than just being on these wheels of constant go. It's going to deplete us in ways. The energy is changing on this planet, and we can't do it the same way and get away with it. If you're really, really opening and letting yourself soften into this awakening that's here, you're going to want, I think, because you're going to want to feel better, you're going to want to really pay attention to yourself. So, anyway, let me know what you think about this, what intuitive messages you're getting from this season, and how you're honoring, again, whatever these truths are. Talk to a friend, talk to your journal, talk to the trees. You'll find out exactly what you really, really want. And I think that here's another little thing. Once we do that, and we honor it and we give it space and we do it, whatever, like maybe not doing it, right? Just kind of relaxing, that we will find we have renewed energy for whatever else that really truly matters. And I think that that's the fear. If I just stop, I'm going to not actually do anything. And actually, what I've found is the more I honor all the pauses, the more everything gets done around. All right, lovelies. Until next time, I cannot wait for another episode. Please, if you're loving this podcast, share it with people you know. Come check out my Facebook group, Everyday Enchantment, and chat with me directly. Let's have some fun as we close this year and we welcome in. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. Get all the delicious details and links we've mentioned in this episode in the show notes below. If you'd like to chat about this episode or learn more about how to work with me, come visit me in my private Facebook group, Everyday Enchantment, or check out my website, staceyandon.com, where you can find out more about my Leap of Faith coaching, my Map Makers group program, and the School of Intuitive Magic. Plus a special shout out for all the production and editing of this show by Richard Wilmore. That's it for now, love. Here's to living a life enchanted. See you soon.